this technology is still quite new for HR professionals in particular. What are some of the misconceptions that you face?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest misconception that people have about AI in general, it doesn't matter if it's applied to hiring or something else, is what is it? I think a lot of people conflate AI with, oh, I'm going to scrape stuff from the internet and nobody knows that I'm doing that. Well, no, that's not what we do. We are actively collecting data from the person. That's different. That's data scraping, right? We don't do that. We don't do passive data collection on people. Some people do, but that's not what we believe in. Another thing that people believe about AI is that it's black box, right? Yes, some forms of AI are black box, but again, that's not us. We are glass box, transparent AI, however you want to call it. Another aspect of AI that people often assume is that by default it will have the biases of the human creators, because at the end of the day, artificial intelligence is simply a machine copying a human, right? And again, yes, that can definitely be true if you're not careful, if you don't check your algorithms. They can then replicate all the human biases, and because they're so powerful, do it, it's a force multiplier, but that also doesn't need to be the case. So I think the biggest thing that I always say is, and I don't think I was the person who coined it, artificial intelligence is an enabling layer that's just like electricity. And electricity can be a huge, powerful force for good, and it can also, unfortunately, be used in a harmful way. And technology is neutral, and any technology is neutral. AI is neutral. It's really the design that the technologists have in mind when they create the artificial intelligence that matters at the end of the day.
So interesting, talking about how you check for bias and validate against it. How do you do that?
Sure. The way that our platform works is that we build local job models for every company that we work with. It's called, in the US, it's called the local job validation study, which means that we don't assume that we have a sales profile that will work anywhere. We'll go into a company, we'll have your top performing salespeople go through our platform, we'll compare their traits against a baseline, and we'll say, these are the traits that make someone successful. We will also use a job analysis process to understand how those traits map to the actual job that they're performing, because obviously people want to know that. And so that's a big part of, for us in any case, the validation process. It's a concurrent validation process that then we follow on with a predictive validation process. So then after we've had the algorithm live for a while, we'll then collect performance data, retention data, and so on to validate it in a predictive way. So that's the validation piece. We also have construct validity and other types of validity that are important in the occupational psychology or IO world. And we have a whole team of OCPSYCs or IOs that have helped us really be buttoned up on that. The debiasing piece is actually something that is fairly unique to our platform, or certainly we're the only ones who've open sourced how we do this. So early on in the history of pymetrics, we realized, look, some companies, no matter how hard they try, don't have a representative sample at the moment of people in a particular job, meaning it's overly Caucasian, it's overly male. And so again, if you just take that group of people, even though your data may be unbiased, you will pick up, because of the Simpsons paradox, potentially bias in that sample, and your algorithm will then be biased, right? And we all know this. It's it's a known fact. In fact, Amazon got into trouble with that recently and was in the news, right? And again, as you know, hiring tools can actually have adverse impact and be legal so long as they're job related. I think that's unfortunate. We actually take the position that even though that's true, we don't subscribe to that. And we really believe that that comes from a bias in the training set. So what we did is we created an audit process. Essentially, it's just like any audit process. You check the outcomes. You say, okay, this algorithm, I'm going to run it on a test group of real people that have given us pymetrics data, and we say, okay, between men and women, are they getting equal pass scores? People of different ethnic backgrounds getting equal pass scores? And if the answer is no, because we're white box or glass box, we can go back and say, oh, this feature is causing it. Okay, let's remove it or deweight it and then run it again. And again, when we say run a model, we're running hundreds of models. So if one is showing that, we can go and get one that's equally good and then just is not having that biased effect. And it's a pre-deployment audit process that we've open sourced on GitHub, so anyone can go and check it out and see what we're doing. And that's what we give to a client, is we'll say, we won't release an algorithm unless it's passed our debiasing process.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice and also via our YouTube channel for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.